Growing up in the black southern household, lying was like this really punishable offense. The truth hurts. Yeah, it's supposed to. Testing, testing, one, two, three. Tell the truth, shame the devil. My mama used to always say we get in more trouble if we lied to her and she found out later than if we just came out with the truth up front. She was always mad either way, but she's gonna be more mad if you lied to her. Tell the truth, shame the devil is basically like do the right thing, be honest. It's like urging you not to lie as like a form of deceit. We've been holding out on lies too long. Bring back shame and love that don't cower from mistakes. I think a lot of people online recently have been talking about like bringing back shame, which is such like an interesting concept to me, because I think my idea of shame is kind of wrapped up in like this idea of like tough love, and I think that's maybe tied to how I grew up. Like there wasn't a whole bunch of sugarcoating. If you doing something wrong, somebody go pull you to the side and be like, hey, you need to change this, hey, you need to, but not in like a you need to be humbled type of way, because that's a whole nother, in a, you know, having respect for other people and being considerate sort of way. Whereas now like people are so like into this whole like individualist thing that it's like everybody kind of focus on themselves and not really considering how your actions affect other people around you, but they do. And I don't know, it was just community based. Tough love was like, I'm not saying this to judge you, I'm not saying this to put you down, I'm saying this because I love you. Even if you may not like what I'm saying to you, may not like want to hear it, I'm telling you because I know that you can do better, you can be a better person. Like when mama would say, nah, you ain't right for that, now you know better, I ain't raised no fool. You know, all the typical sort of things that you hear a mother say, especially I think black mothers, like, who are trying to talk some sense into you, saying that you're better than the mistakes you're making. It's honest and it's raw, and sometimes it may not be like, I'm trying to soothe your ego and your pride. Words sharp as nails and tough as ice, but soothing, like her fingers running through your hair. There's a sort of duality, the balance between, I know you're not gonna love what I'm saying to you, but I'm saying this to you because I love you. And I kind of connect that to the whole like sitting between your mama's legs and she like doing combing your hair, brushing your hair, whatever. And you know, it might be like yanking and pulling and a little like rough, but you know, it's a very intimate thing. So I'm connecting the feeling of like guiding people in a rough and tough manner in order for it to stick, the same way that like, you know, mama's hands are running through your fingers, is running through your hair when she's combing it. Sure, the truth might hurt some folks, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Sugarcoating ain't protection from the cold, it's just sweetener. Drips like wax in the sun. The story of Icarus and how his dad told him, you know, made him the wings and basically told him, don't fly too close to the sun or, you know, they go melt and then you go fall into the ocean. And he didn't listen, and that's exactly what happened. And that whole idea of like not heeding people's warnings, but how like if I'm sugarcoat my message to you and I cover it in all this fluff and sweetener to keep, you know, to protect, soothe your pride and protect your ego and to not hurt your feelings, then as soon as I send you out into the world and the sun starts shining on you a little bit and that wax drip off, all that fluff drip off, what's gonna be left underneath? All that sweetener, all that fluff of people just being yes men and telling you what you want to hear instead of telling you the truth is gonna backfire on you in the long run, because if nobody being truthful with you, you gonna walk out and all those lies gonna slip right off and you gonna be what? Naked. That leads into the next few lines. Don't just stand there naked, put some clothes on. Here, I made these just for you. I'm realizing how much I like use references and stuff in my writing, but like this is tied to a whole idea of like the emperor with no clothes, and how, you know, these people came in trying to sell him the finest silks and fabrics and things when really they weren't selling him anything but air. Convinced this man to walk out in broad daylight with no clothes on. Like sorry, that's not funny. But like convincing him to walk out in broad daylight with no clothes on, and everybody's so scared to like point out like this man don't got no clothes on, until this one kid is just like, why doesn't the emperor, like, why he out here bare? And I imagine that feeling of like humiliation and nobody wanting to like be upfront with you is the same humiliation of like doing stuff that's out of character or that shows the lack of like respect and care that you have for like people around you. That's the same type of humiliation. So I'd rather you get the tough love and everything from like somebody that cares about you than go out into the world with all these strangers who not gonna tell it to you how it is, if that makes sense. Like, I hope that makes sense. But in that same breath, it's like you running around here naked, and it's sort of like a reprimanding, like, you know, you naked, put some clothes on. But then it's also like that level of nurturing that's like, here, I made these clothes for you, I got this shirt for you, I got these pants for you. Ideally that would happen before the public humiliation, but that's not always the case. And then the last line, a little something to grow into. We as a society like don't give people as much grace and room to grow as we ought to. I think like especially with cancel culture being so rampant, it's so easy that when somebody makes a mistake to like just completely like cut them off. And granted, some people be doing ridiculous stuff and should have been told a long time ago, but I do think there's a level where like some stuff is like we harp on it so much that then it becomes this big issue, and that I don't think is worthy of the negativity that the person receives. So I think there's a level of like, you know, you messed up, you made a mistake, I'm pointing it out to you because I love you, and now here's your clothes, and they might be a little big right now, but it's room for growth, there's room for improvement. And I think that's a level of like nurture and like grace that I like to see actually like utilize and put into place with how we treat people online and in our everyday lives. I don't know, I just really like this idea of like the truth hurts. Yeah, it's supposed to. The word truth has original ties to the idea of devotion and faithfulness and loyalty. It's a covenant between two people. Meaning, love is what we gonna do when you do something that rubbed me the wrong way. How we gonna respond to that, and how we gonna move through it. And I think, did y'all see that bug fly by my head? I think there's a level of like honesty and loyalty that is required in this day and age.